on, there is just one more thing. We've got a newbie. I'm the new caretaker.
Skovox Blitzer, one of the deadliest killing machines ever created.
Are the kids safe?
No, nobody is safe.
Hi everyone, Tyler Skovox here, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Caretaker, which is the 6th episode of Series 8. And sorry it's taking so long for this review to get up, but it's finally here, so let's take a look at The Caretaker itself. So, back to Coal Hill School. An interesting idea, I guess. Now, it feels almost a bit too self-indulgent, I guess, is the word for it. But, nevertheless, it's a good idea. It's an idea, I guess. And that's not really the episode's fault. It's more Clara being a teacher there, and Danny being the teacher there, and Clara being the teacher there. I think was purely more because of the 50th. They wanted to homage back to that original thing. So they thought, let's continue on with that here rather than throwing it away, which I guess is good. Them just throwing it away would have been quite unfortunate. So it's nice to see that here, I guess. And the Doctor being a caretaker here is a nice little callback to Remembrance of the Daleks. If you remember, when the 7th Doctor walks into school and the headmaster greets him and says, "You're a little overqualified for the job of caretaker." It's just a nice little nod like that, I guess. So now the episode itself, Gareth Roberts and Stephen Moffat wrote it. I wasn't overly looking forward to it and didn't really see much draw to it, to be honest. I was more looking forward to Kill the Moon. So I thought this was just a nice little distraction in between. But I did like it, I guess. It was much better than I thought it would be. And much better than Time Heist was last week. So yeah, it's got that for it, definitely. The Doctor in this was absolutely great. He has that wonderful line where he's talking to what's her name? I've completely forgot her name now. The little girl, schoolgirl, who I can't remember the name of. Courtney Woods, that was it. Yeah. When he's talking to Courtney and he says, "Nice to meet you. Now get lost." And that's just such a funny line, and it's one of my favourite lines that Peter Capaldi said. And just the way he said it was just so great, I think. There's a lot of little bits like that in here. What I didn't like, however, was in relation to Danny. Now, I think Danny's a good character, and I think he was on the right side in this. And the Doctor was just oddly written for. I don't know where he suddenly got this animosity towards soldiers from. It just seems to have come out of nowhere. And while he's always had that kind of attitude towards them in a way, it was never that extreme and never that kind of mean. And he's an ex-soldier as well. I just don't think it was justified at all, and it felt forced, which is unfortunate, And I guess parts of it worked, but to be honest, I didn't really like that. I think it was sort of necessary. It was the whole episode was hinging on it, basically, because the Skovox Blitzer alien plot was more of a subplot than the actual plot, to be honest. The actual plot was the Doctor, Danny and Clara, and the things going on between them, which was unfortunate, to be honest. The Skovox Blitzer itself has very little screen time. It looks good though, and I like that it's not the typical bipedal thing. It looks different, and that's a good thing. And it kills the policeman, but I think it should have killed a couple more people. Yeah, it's said today it killed a couple more people, but you only see the death of the policeman, unfortunately. And of course he comes back later in the episode for that end scene, which I'll talk about a bit later. Courtney Woods. Now, she was played by another person who I forgot the name of. But child actors in Doctor Who recently. Ellis George, that was it. Sorry. Yeah, now I remembered. Yeah, child actors in Doctor Who recently have been a bit off, I guess. But here, she doesn't give a standout performance. It's not kind of incredible. But, it's good. There's not really much I can complain about with it. It's just solidly good. Yeah, I look forward to seeing more of her, I guess. Clara was basically the centre of the episode, being stuck between Capaldi and Danny. or Doctor and Danny, rather, being stuck between them two. And Jenna Coleman does a really good job in this episode. I think it's one of her best performances, to be honest. Adding Danny in, I think, has added new dimensions to her character, which was rather one-dimensional, you know, ever-changing in Series 7 with Matt Smith. And I guess that more fitted the style of Matt Smith's run, and you also have the Impossible Girl plot thing going on. But, you know, here it's much better. Clara's finally getting her own proper character. Jenna Coleman's finally being given good stuff to work with, because before she was an excellent actor. She really was good, but unfortunately she just wasn't getting the right stuff to work with. Now, you know, this is Coal Hill School. Ian Chesterton is apparently the chairman of governors, and he didn't appear in the episode. Now, I'm not too disappointed about that, to be honest. See, you know, I think it would have worked in the 50th if he had appeared, but here I think if they're going to do that, I hope they do. I hope they give him his own episode, to be honest. Because this one, it would have taken away too much from the episode. And, you know, I thought long and hard about whether it would have been a good idea to get him in or not. But now that I've solidly thought about it, I think, you know, it was a good choice not to have him there. So, yeah, I wouldn't have complained if he was there. But I think, you know, it's better not to have him there and then have him appear later, hopefully. Probably won't, unfortunately, but please bring him in at some point. You know, I'm not sure, depends how long they keep Clara as well, because they can't have another teacher at Coal Hill School. You know, it would just seem like it just seems like a wasted opportunity if they don't. But anyway, you know, it's an enjoyable episode. I think it's a fun romp, but unfortunately, it does have its problems. It's too focused on Clara and Danny, to be honest. But the end credit, not the end credit scene, I don't know why I called it that. The scene with the right at the end in heaven, or whatever this whole arc is. You know, I like that they introduced a new character to the fold in the heaven thing, rather than having Missy greeting him, and it provides a nice new dimension. And that tease out the window, that was very nicely done. It's just that you can't see out the window, and I think that's a very good piece of direction. And the room itself being as it was an interesting choice, and I think it's nice how they left that reveal a bit later. It feels like it's just a normal room, because you're just seeing the shots from the point of views of Seb, I think his name is, and the policeman. And then suddenly you get that wide shot of the room, and it's incredible. So yeah, I like all that stuff going on. That was nice, and it provides a nice new dimension. It also disproves the theory, which I wasn't too fond of, which was that they were only grabbing people who sacrificed themselves for the Doctor. For the Doctor convinced to sacrifice themselves, and you know, the policeman never met the Doctor, had nothing to do with him, so that rather disproves that theory. And I'm happy about that, to be honest. It wasn't my favourite theory. So yeah, it's good to have the Heaven arc kind of like back in full swing, but in a different way, with a different dimension on it, because Time Heist barely had anything, Listen barely had anything, Robot of Sherwood had a little bit, but it's nice to have that there, I think. So yeah, I think we'll finish off now. Thanks for watching, everyone. The episode gets a 6 out of 10. Forgot to mention that. It was good, an improvement over last week, but not incredible. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.